Jamaica. I have been saying time and time again on this program. Up to this week, I call on this country to release the sex offenders registry. How many times, Jamaica? I'm going to say it. How many times, Jamaica? I have asked the government to release the sex offenders registry.
Yes, we must be careful. Yes, we must make sure that when we expunge a record, that individual has demonstrated that they have given up on crime and that they will continue to lead a decent life.
So you're telling me he spent 3 years in prison for you? He did something.
And he must get 3 years for the girl before me.
And he had 3 years for the girl, the 9-year-old before.
Yeah.
So that's 6 years. And then he go back in a jail now for a 1-year-old and the judge gave him bail?
We don't want the situation that now happens in the Me Too movement in the US. Where 30 years later, you talk about I was arrested in the elevator. No, if you don't complain within 12 months, please, cut it off.
How many times, Jamaica? I have asked the government to release the sex offenders registry.
Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. No.
Jamaica, you don't realize that the moral fiber of this country, the moral fiber of this country, the moral decadence, where is the outrage?
Just my point, in the sense that I don't think we can put a time frame on, and we could be re-victimizing the person all over again.
We're 30 years later. You talk about I was arrested in the elevator. No, if you don't complain within 12 months, please, cut it off.
Justice Minister DELROY Chuck gave a scenario to explain the need for a time limit.
But look at Mr. Chuck. When he used to teach him, he used to make pass at me. I wouldn't even remember.
Yeah, but
I did.
Yeah, but Minister Chuck, that is the person's accusation. If they had a record, of that
20 years ago.
Yeah, but if they had a record of it or is able to provide evidence. But this is just my point, in the sense that I don't think we can put a time frame on, and we could be re-victimizing the person.
Where is the outrage and where are the men? And this is no political talk tonight. This is a talk about the children of this country who needs to be safeguarded and protected.
Madam Speaker, another area of great concern, critical justice service, is in delivering to Jamaicans expungement of certain criminal convictions for those who meet the qualifying requirements. Madam Speaker, I hope to take to Cabinet and to Parliament shortly an expansion of expungement cases. Madam Speaker, there are so many cases which cry out for expungement, but because they're in the 3rd schedule of the Act, cannot be expunged. I can give you hundreds of cases, Madam Speaker, that are turned down because, yes, they're serious. At the time, they were committed. And these persons have got long sentences, 10 years sometimes and more. But, Madam Speaker, they have returned to their community.
The alleged perpetrator is not from the community. The alleged person of interest, Jamaica. People who know him know where Dunkirk him come from. But things happened in Dunkirk and he had to leave Dunkirk. I get all the antecedents already, you know. And somebody sorry for my job lane and take him in.
They have lived fairly upright life for 15, 20 and more years, and now they would like their sentence to be expunged.
But I'm going to say it again. If the offenders' registers were public, potentially people will know who these perpetrators are.
And I say, Madam Speaker, if they have served their time, paid their due, and after 10 years or 15 or 20 years, Madam Speaker, I think the opportunity should be given to them for their sentence to be expunged. And Madam Speaker, I will be taking this matter to Cabinet shortly, and thereafter I will bring it to Parliament for us to examine it, because yes, we must be careful. Yes, we must make sure that when we expunge a record, that individual has demonstrated that they have given up on crime and that they will continue to lead a decent life.
Jamaica, it bleed me. It bleed me, it bleed me, it bleed me.
Commit and assure everyone who has been concerned by my utterance that my conduct in committee meetings and otherwise will reflect the fact that I do not seek to diminish the importance of this issue. I always advocate for women to be treated with dignity and respect, and I believe in a society where women are never objectified or exploited. I ask for the public's forgiveness and commit to championing the cause and concerns of our women and to be an ally and an advocate representing fully and fairly the women of Jamaica.
I have asked the government to release the sex offenders registry.